Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Bayonetta. I did not forget anything for the last chapter, thankfully, so we can get started right into Chapter 3. So remember where the last chapter left off was Bayonetta falling to the ground after defeating some dragon heads? Well, now we're gonna see what happens directly after that, and the guy those dragon heads are attached to. He's the guy from the flashback.
Jag ser tillfället torres olla tunna. Orpet, madliaks, julkan urabba kala, kausgård och samba. Nonsjås. Sin kiskire. Olonson nonsin bagre nonsjås urkan. Olonson kvaspira pilla jadna. Taulka, vesi.
If I was your child, I'd be an awfully ugly witch, wouldn't I? Yours is a face only a mother could love, and one I could never forget. If only I could remember where from.
Nonsin kiistes torsun kiiske. Nonsin parsis kasa.
No quarrel? You're in no position to decide that. See, my infernal partners love my ability to eliminate your kind. I figure your sacrifice would shut them up for a while.
Ah, great, now look at what you did. You made him cause a hissy fit. Now the whole city's on fire. I hope you're happy. So I have to be very careful of this lava on the floor because Bayonetta will get hurt by it. And all these enemies that are going to appear are also on fire. That means if you touch them with any of your basic melee attacks, you will get hurt. Except, as you saw right there, if you are in Witch Time. If you're in Witch Time, you can do your standard normal melee attacks against them without fear of getting damaged. And the other way to damage them is to do what I'm doing here. Use the charge modifier of the guns. Hold down the buttons and they will still be hurt by the bullets that you send out. This could be a very tricky fight to platinum like at this point in the game because there's a weapon you could get later on that can make this fight a whole lot easier. But, of course, we don't have it at this point. And you have to be very... See, like, I hit the enemy there and I, like, recoiled back and took damage. Yeah, that's going to count against my damage ranking at the end of this verse, so... Dodge offsets are very useful here, especially the Shuraba's offset of doing that big DIE swing attack. But yeah, like, until you get, like, some later stuff and you're able to revisit the chapters. I mean, you can revisit the chapters anytime you want after you clear one. I mean, you can do that to, like, grind for halos and stuff and go back to chapters and find things that you missed. I'm not doing that right now, and I don't need to grind until after Chapter 7, because that's a really good money grinding chapter. Yeah, this fight's going to be pretty tricky to pull off. So yeah, I took 100 damage because I smacked into melee smacked into an enemy that was on fire and I wasn't in Witch Time. Right there is the first of the two crows in this level on normal difficulty. And something I want to point out, right over there, you can see the first alfheim. However, I guess I must have accidentally found some way to activate it because there is a trigger for that alfheim. I go back up to collect the arcade bullet just to get myself more money at the end of the chapter. Right up here, like, where Bayonetta is starting to stand, right there about, there's a garbage can that you need to destroy in order to have the alfheim, you know, activate. So, I guess during the fight sometime I must have broke it somehow, so that's why the alfheim there was, you know, visible. This alfheim is also made easier with a weapon we get actually in this stage, I believe. But there is another way around it. You can jump on your enemies on here. You can use them as a platform and get a double jump on them. You need to stay in the air for 20 seconds here. And if you hold down the shoot button, your descent slows down greatly. So you hold down the shoot button, and you just keep jumping up on the enemies until, you know, you get the right time that you want. It can be tricky in that the enemies won't always cooperate. They'll just move out of the way, and you may not get a good footing, and you'll have to fall back down to the ground, and you'll waste time. But yeah, you don't have to worry about things like a combo or anything like that. You just have to make sure you get it done as quick as you can. Also, in this chapter, there are 4 alfheims, but don't worry, all of them are thankfully short, like shorter than the one from the last chapter. At this point here, right after I exited that alfheim, I'm switching, like, say, recording footages because I actually screwed up the next fight pretty badly, and I accidentally went to the chapter menu instead of the title menu in order to try again. So yeah, again, that warning from last time, it stays. So at the end, you're going to see I have a different ranking on the opening fight. I actually pure platinumed it when I went back to try again. This is a verse that you do have to get a combo in, but it's very, very difficult to get a right one without some right weapons and replaying it. So you take a look at the combo there, 149. You did have, like, say, 200 or, like, 300 or something in order to get a platinum ranking. It's a very short gap of distance between stone and platinum for that. But you need to really get witch time for that in order to, like, actually get a decent combo for that. It's very easy to do. You just need, like, witch time. But enough about that. You gotta be prepared to dodge again. Right now. Yes, he shoots a fireball at you as soon as the cutscene ends. Despite his name, Fairness can actually be a very cheap and difficult opponent. That lunging attack where he tries to bite you, oh, that can be so annoying to avoid in close quarters. Thankfully, you can get witch time off a lot of his stuff. See what happened there? He's able to do a attack that can stun you. If you're dodging while he's doing that cry out attack, you can avoid getting stunned. But if you do, you will have to, like, wiggle the stick back and forth in order to try and break free, because he's going to try and attack you when you're stunned. So yeah, this guy can actually be a real pain, especially in tighter quarters. Especially right here, because, again, there's lava on the floor. If you go into one of the bigger pools, you will get hurt by stepping into it. The guy is very quick, but thankfully you can get witch time off about all of his attacks. He does things like claw swipes and fireball shoots and everything, so he's one of the first enemies you really, really gotta pay attention of. There are some witch chests over here to the sides. Witch chests can be opened up really immediately with a Wicked Weave attack. Like, you don't need to keep beating on them in order to open them up. That is half of a new weapon. We need to find the other half later in this stage. And yeah, you could, like, beat up some of these dumpsters and stuff to find, like, other items like those. I found some green laurels and, like, that purple butterfly so I can restore some of my health and some of my magic. It's a good idea to do for that spot right there. They almost always give you health and magic. And around here, again, still have to be very careful of your footing. And the Gates of Hell portal is still in its old place, but I don't go down there because I have nothing that I need to buy from them right now. You have to go down to this area, and you jump into this place where you found the Witch Heart before, and you'll find the second alfheim of this chapter. It's also pretty short, don't worry. So in this one, there's 3 angel arms scattered across the battlefield, and they will each replenish, like, say, 4 times after you use them. So don't just keep, like, expecting to do the strippable spinneroonie on everything until it's done. No, you're probably gonna run out. No, by the time all the enemies are done. And yes, like before, things like your normal, like, say, witch gun from the shoot buttons won't do damage to them. Your weapons won't do damage to them. So you don't have to worry about a combo. The combo ranking is pretty low here because they know you can't really maintain a good combo with this. By picking up the bow weapon, I choose to do the kick attack, actually, which is the shooting an arrow, which is one of the most powerful Angel Arms moves in the game. Like, the initial, like, say, drawback of the bowstring is really long, but after that she fires arrows pretty quickly, as you can see. its normal punch attack is like a chain sword kind of strikes. They're pretty useful if you're surrounded by enemies, but most people seem to prefer the standard bow and arrow, like kick button attacks. See, look how much damage this strippable Spinneroonie can do against a beloved. Look at all that damage right before it runs out. Right up here, like, I missed the first shot with the bow, but then I press the lock-on button and then I shoot him and kill him, so... And I do not believe you can take any of these angel arms out with you back into the main stage, so that's unfortunate. But with that, we got another life extension, so that's good. Again, like, I'm actually saving up for, like, some accessories and some abilities that you're going to unlock later, like, after one chapter, in order to purchase from the Gates of Hell. I don't really need to buy too much at this point. I don't need too many restorative stuff. Like, curative items and items that, like, increase your attack power and everything, they lower your ranking. This part here, you have to use Witch Time and wait for this lava surge in order to basically stop before you can cross over it, or else you will get knocked out of Witch Time and you will take damage. I guess something to mention right now about environmental hazards. Oh wait, I'll do that after this cutscene. Because this cutscene is fun.
Dancing and go-go, baby!
Not as catchy as Henshin a Goku Baby, but you're not Beautiful Joe, so what can you do? But yeah, you're gonna get into a small little battle with some of those angels right here. Be sure to go into Witch Time or use torture attacks so that you can get a platinum combo. But yes, environmental hazards. As you can see in the top right, you can see verse 6. Like, when you're in a verse, that means you're in the middle of, like, a fight, I guess you could say. If you take damage from anything during a verse, whether it be from an enemy attack or from stage hazards, that damage will go towards your platinum ranking, against your platinum ranking for that fight. However, if you're not in the middle of a verse, and you take stage damage, it will not affect any ranking. Like, one time before I fought some enemies that fired a whole bunch of missiles at me, I was able to kill it right before the missiles hit me, so I got that, say, photo finish kind of thing, right before, I got smacked by all the missiles. And I still got a pure platinum for that run, because it didn't count all those missile attacks against me. So, environmental hazards, be aware of them when you're fighting enemies, but you don't have to worry about them too much when you're not in the middle of a verse. I'm still in the middle of verse 6, so I can't take any damage. But as you can see from those sections, just simply, wait and jump through all the gaps in the buildings. Get ready to press the shoot button right here. Yeah, if you don't press this button here, it's another instant death. Again, they kind of suck, but again, it's always going to be the same button every time, so as long as you know that it's coming, yeah, it's not going to be that big a deal. Right here is another notebook from Antonia Redgrave. Yeah, there's quite a bit of good flavor text about the Umbran Witches, like, lore and everything in this game, so they're pretty interesting to read when you get the time. This is one of the biggest things that makes Fairness such a tough boss. They often come in multiples. You rarely have to fight just one. I was actually surprised I was able to get a platinum on this fight with just one try. You'll often be focused on trying to fight one of them, and then another one will just blindside you by leaping off screen to try and, like, bite you, or shoot a fireball at you, or do a claw swipe at you. So yeah, these guys can be pretty tough. They can also kind of, like, deflect your, like, standard, like, basic melee attacks that aren't Wicked Weaves, with their armor is still on. And yeah, as you drain their health, you will naturally, like, break off pieces of their armor, and they won't be able to block anything. The torture attack takes away about, say, half of their health, but torture attacks are always best to do at the end of a good combo anyways, so generally, the closer they are to death, that's probably the best chance you have in order to getting a good combo ranking on them. See, as you can see there, he did the, the stunning scream, but because I was dodging, I didn't get stunned, so. All these, like, smaller cracks in the floor that have lava in them, they won't damage you. It's the more larger ones you have to be wary of. But still, another weapon you get late in this game makes these sections a lot easier because it takes away that amount of worry, so this is probably a good thing to replay to try to get a platinum on if you want. And the reason why I'm trying to get platinum rankings on every chapter is because that helps you get one of the toughest unlockables once you complete the final one with a platinum. This is another interesting quick time event sequence coming right up. You have to mash the shoot button in order to try and like fill the gauge up to at least like a 1,000. I think if you don't reach 1,000, it's an instant death, but I've never died there before, so I can't guarantee that. It might be, it might not be, but it's still in your best interest to mash it because you get money at the end of the by the time the time is up. So as you can see here, when you start down in this little catacombs place, go behind you and you'll find another witch chest. And right here, you have to fight more enemies that are on fire, so... Which is, again, even tougher now because you're now in a more narrow place with even, like, wider pits of lava. I love the Shiraba. And again, if you don't get into a witch time enough, you're not going to get a very good combo for this section. See, I got a bronze ranking for the combo. I accepted the gold because I have enough platinums for this chapter that my platinum was all but guaranteed at this point, just as long as I kept going. But I didn't think that fight was, worth refighting again. Be careful here because those lava surges will keep popping out at you, and they will do damage. I mean, it's not going to count against any rankings because you're not in the middle of a verse at that point, but they're still annoying. They will always pop out at the same places, so just, watch where they are before you try to traverse it. There's the Gates of Hell there, in case if you need it, and another Antonio Redgrave diary entry. I always thought the music here sounded like something out of Lord of the Rings, like something to do with like Mount Doom and like the people of Sauron and everything. There's an ancient portal-like object here. There may even be more evidence of that. I went too fast, couldn't read it. But apparently, Hideki Kamiya thought this music track sounded like God of War. So yeah, you want to try and go over there, but then so what do you do now that those rocks destroyed your exit? Well, at first you get into a fight with some angels, and you have to remember to go into witch time on all of them and get torture attacks on them so that you can actually get a platinum ranking on their combo. That's the first thing you do. And here you go. In order to drop an angel arm that you're holding, click down the left control stick. That's what you do for like any of the consoles that you're playing this game on. You click down the left control stick, and that's what makes Bayonetta drop the angel arm. Very useful in case you accidentally picked up something that you didn't want. By defeating all the enemies, we open up this portal. Ooh, pretty. So these little portals act to gateways to Paradiso, which is, of course, the heaven here. And you can go out back and forth through here if you want. Now, there's a few things to collect in here first before we go get the item that we need in order to progress through the stage. Over here on this little object, on this little islet, I guess you could say, is the second half of the broken record. We'll be taking that to Rodon pretty soon, so don't forget about that. And yes, despite the fact that Bayonetta has allied herself with demons of Inferno, making pacts with people of Hell, she is in fact able to walk on water, as if she was a holy person. What you have to do is use Witch Time in order to cross the top of those water geysers. If you walk around that rock island formation, you could find an arcade bullet, but I didn't really want it, so I didn't bother going over there. Didn't really want to waste the time. Don't really need an arcade bullet at this point. But over here is where you find another alfheim. From what I hear, this is generally the first alfheim everybody finds. I mean, it was the first alfheim that I found, mostly because it wasn't a backtracking alfheim. This was, just on the side of the main path sort of way. That's why I think people found it easily. And for this fight, Witch Time is disabled. And because of that, that means that your combo ranking won't have to be too high, because you can't enter witch time and you can't get a good multiplier from it. Not too much to say about this one. It's a pretty standard fight. You just have to be very careful around here. Like, if you, this is probably going to be people's first, experience with, disabling witch time in a fight. So it's probably going to be really weird to a lot of people. And as you can see on here, when some enemies, get their health really low, they go aggro instantly, even if you don't taunt them. And some people have confused, like, say, enemies being on fire with enemies being aggroed. Enemies on fire are not enemies aggroed. You can aggro an enemy that's on fire, but just doesn't look too physically different. No witch time can be very tricky against the fairness enemies. As you can see, like, I took 1 damage there, but I was still able to get a platinum because that's the only hit I took. Using dodge offset here is really useful against fairness, because you'll be able to dodge his attacks quickly and just be able to keep pulling off that Shuraba Wicked Weave that I love so much. And thankfully, that is the end of this alfheim. It was pretty short, like, in comparison to the alfheim that were in the previous video. These are pretty short, thankfully. Well, I guess it is good because there are 4 alfheim in this chapter. We still got 1 more to go. And with that, we got another Broken Moon Pearl to complete another one. So, our magic meter keeps going up. Now, what we have to do is... Oh yeah, that's right, I think I already told you that. You have to go to the water spouts and use witch time in order to cross them. This is a very nice little scenic place. There aren't very many points in the game where you actually go through portals and go get brief glimpses of Paradiso like this. When you get up here, you're going to wonder, like, say, what this big statue is and what you're supposed to use it for. I was confused at first, and I think I was screwing up what I was doing, like, the first time I got to this point. But it's pretty simple. Again, you just need to know what you're doing. You have to walk over here to this, like, broken archway in order to find another broken witch heart. The reason why I jump over here onto these floating islands is to show that, yeah, there's, like, a little floating... I think that was an arcade bullet right there. But other than that, there's nothing else over here. I mean, this place is nice to look at, but there isn't too much here. So what you're supposed to do is pull this lever. And what it'll do is break this and give you this big hourglass. Now, do not press the Y button, or I mean the shoot button, to use it. You'll have to exit, through the portal and come back in. Like, the statue will be rebuilt and you'll be able to get another hourglass, but you really don't want to, waste time or anything. Basically, as soon as you exit the portal, then you can press the use button. So yeah, I think, once you're out here, the portal closes off because it knows that, you didn't screw anything up anymore. And of course, as you can see, using it will somehow turn back time. This is going to become a mechanic in the next chapter, and really only the next chapter, because I think only the next chapter is the one that uses this hourglass ever again. So now the bridge is rebuilt, but also see this little wooden bridge that we used to cross down here? This was destroyed when the rocks crushed down on the bridge, so if you were trying to go to Rodon before, you couldn't. But since we do have the bridge rebuilt now, we're gonna go get our new weapon.
Another LP? Working me to the bone. But no need to pity me. I was bored anyways. Let me go whip some things into shape for you.
Whip some things into shape. Funny considering the weapon we're about to get.
It was a close one this time. This bad boy might even be hard for you to get a handle on. Take care of yourself.
Colchedra is an interesting weapon, mostly only because its charge modifier is has multiple abilities depending on how you press the control stick. Otherwise, Colchedra cannot be equipped to the feet. It's a hands-only weapon. I mean, it's a whip. I think its normal combo strings are a bit too slow. It doesn't do as much damage. It's really only useful in tight quarters because of its charge modifier. And oh yes, for this alfheim, that alfheim appears once you've used the hourglass and rebuilt the stage. That's what activates this alfheim. Now in this alfheim, as you can see, enemies here are all on fire. And they can only be damaged by Wicked Weave attacks. You're pretty much going to have to become a master of dodge offsets in this fight, or else you're not going to do it fast enough. But yeah, as you see here, I do one attack, I start a second one, and then I press the punch button again in order to get another Wicked Weave attack going. Witch time is thankfully still here in this Alfheim challenge, but the thing is, you just have to remember, there's only one way to damage enemies in this part here. I don't think torture attacks work. Now this may be a scary side, not being able to do anything against 2 fairness right here in a row, but as you can see here, the standard punch-kick-punch combo, which I keep dodge offsetting the kick part of the combo, can hit both of them at the same time because they are just so close together. I had to restart this Alfheim a few times because I kept screwing that part up. What I was trying to do there was the Tetzanko, which is back forward really quickly and punch, because if you have at least 2 magic orbs, you can, summon an instant Wicked Weave. And as you show right there, I can pull it off right here. Yeah, I'm only able to pull it off, once the fight is finished. I mean, that was just me screwing up before, so I got cocky there near the end of the fight trying to do a cool finisher, but it's not going to happen. Because I wanted to show something off to you. If you actually finish off the last enemy in a fight with a Tetzanko, and you pure platinum the fight, Bayonetta will shout something in Japanese. She will shout, Junen Hayai Dayo, which means 10 years too early. That's a reference to a character from the Virtua Fighter series. Yeah, I didn't go into the Gates of Hell because I took a look at the money that I have. I didn't have the money. I need 100,000 in order to buy an accessory anyways. But yeah, Junen Hayaidayo, that's a reference to, I think it's Akira from Virtua Fighter. Because, yeah, he uses the main Tetzanko ability, which, if you look past the Wicked Weave, Bayonetta does his, elbow strike attack. And I think Junen Hayaidayo is one of Akira's victory quotes from the game. For this fight, this is a final fight of the verse. What you have to do is wait for these angels to get to you so that you can dodge their attacks to get witch time. Otherwise, you're probably going to end up with a pretty low combo for this place. I mean, it may be tempting to just, use a charge modifier of the Scarborough Fair while they're still flying and, knock them into the lava, but you're not going to get a good combo that way. And these decorations right here, pretty simple, you have pretty much, no choice to use against them. But yeah, you're really going to want to, wait for the affinities to get to you on the bridge so you could get witch time on them, so you could get a better combo for them. Otherwise, I used to not know how to get a good combo for this area. Now I know. Once you get to the top of this little staircase right here, start doing jumping and dodges in air, because the bridge is going to collapse. If you just try to run normally, you may actually accidentally screw up a double jump to try and get back on the platform, and you don't want to do that. There's another QuickTime event, but again, it will always be just the jump button, so you don't have to worry too much. There's going to be pillars of fire striking this section of rock, but because you're no longer in any verses or in any fights, you don't have to worry if you get hit by one and take damage, because it's not going to count against your end of chapter ranking. So, all these torrents of fire, don't worry about damaging you, unless you are, in fact, very close to death right now, because they can and will kill you if you are low enough on health and you get hit by them. That will put a damper against your ranking for the chapter, so... But before you go that way, there's our next witch tomb right here. This next segment, you don't really need to keep dodging too much, because, again, there's really no point. I've always wondered, like, why this section is right here. Obviously, you're not going to step on any of the exposed lava parts, because that's going to hurt you, so, I mean, you're instinctively not going to step on it. But, I mean, unless you're really close to dying, it won't matter if you step on them, because it's not going to really count against your ranking. Pretty simple part going straight up. I didn't really see what was too much of the point of that area. And before we go to the main exits, walk around this little rock part right here for the final witch tomb of this chapter. Quite a few in this chapter, wasn't there? Enough so that we were able to get yet another life extension. If you take a look over here, you can get yet another Antonio Redgrave note, and we could get a look at Vigrid City proper, where we kind of like started the chapter off. Oh, look, the entire city's on fire. What did that guy gain by setting it all on fire like that? I wonder if, like, killed many people by doing that. Just to, you know, just because Bayonetta insulted him. And right here is where you could get the second final crow of this chapter on normal difficulty. And with that, that is the end of this chapter. The next chapter is going to be a boss fight chapter only, so that's going to be pretty fun. But yeah, like, compared to the last one, this was kind of straightforward, like, with the exception of, like, the lava that you had to avoid. Yeah, 4 Alfheims, but thankfully they were all short.
I should have been a pole dancer.
But that will be all for this episode. Thank you very much for joining me again, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh yeah, for, like, Angel Attack, you can actually skip, like, say, like, the little, like, narration that he does for Angel Attack, so yeah, it's very useful because I tend to not really enjoy Angel Attack all that much. See you next time, guys.